All right, today we're going to talk about a really powerful mental tool, something that can help you get unstuck and make way better decisions. We're calling it multidimensional focus. And really, it's all about learning how to see the full picture, not just that one little piece that's driving you crazy. So let me just ask you this. Have you ever been there? You're so laser focused on one single problem, maybe one tiny detail of a project, that you just completely lose sight of everything else going on around it. Yeah, I think we've all fallen into that trap before. It could be something as small as a single typo in a huge 50-page report. Or maybe it's that one negative comment you get in a whole sea of positive feedback. That right there, that's tunnel vision. It's when we let one tiny, frustrating detail completely overshadow the entire success story that's sitting right in front of our faces. Okay, so what if you had a tool to actually break out of that trap? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into today. I want you to think of it like a mental zoom lens. It's a brand new way to consciously, intentionally direct your focus. So here's the core idea, right? Multi-dimensional focus is basically the skill of intentionally shifting your attention where you want it to go. It's about learning to bounce between, say, the tiny pixel-level details of something and then pulling all the way back to that massive 10,000-foot view of the whole situation. And look, the point here isn't to ignore the small stuff. Not at all. It's about understanding how all those little details fit into the bigger story. So how does this whole lens thing actually work? Well, it's actually super simple. It's just two steps. Step one is zooming in. This is kind of our default mode, right? We're focusing on the what, the specific task right in front of us. But the real magic, the real power, comes in step two, deliberately zooming out. That's when we see the bigger context, the why behind everything we're doing. All right, let's really dig into these different levels. We're going to put this lens to work with a really practical example. Okay, I want you to imagine you're working on a project. At level one, the individual view, you're totally zoomed in on your task, your deadline. Now, let's zoom out one level to the team view. Suddenly you're asking, how does my work impact my colleagues? Okay, let's zoom out again to the organizational view. Now the question is, why did the company even start this project? What's the goal here? And we can go one more level to the market view. How is the outside world, customers or competitors, going to see this? You see, each time you zoom out, you get a completely new and incredibly valuable perspective. And look, this is way more than just some clever little technique. It's like a superpower for clear thinking. Seriously, the ability to consciously shift your perspective like that, that's what takes you from just reacting to problems to being a truly strategic thinker. Okay, so we get the concept, right? But how do we actually use this in our daily lives, especially when we're feeling stressed out or totally overwhelmed? Let's break down the actual actionable steps. This really just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's like there are two paths you can take. On one side, you have single level thinking, and that road, it pretty much leads to frustration, missed opportunities, and just bad decisions. But on the other side, you've got multidimensional focus, and that opens the door to understanding, to innovation, to actually effective solutions. I mean, the choice seems pretty clear, doesn't it? So how do you actually flip that switch and activate this focus? Well, the next time you feel that frustration starting to bubble up, the very first thing you do is just pause. Stop. Before you react, just ask yourself one question. What perspective am I missing right now? Then, on purpose, zoom out just one level. So if you're stuck on your task, think about your team. And then, for the final step, think about the long term. Is this even going to matter in a week, a month, a year? It's a simple little sequence, but trust me, it can change absolutely everything. All right, as we start to wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final, really powerful idea, and that's the true power of perspective. Okay, if you remember anything from this, let it be this. Multidimensional focus is not a passive thing. It's an active tool you have to use. Because changing your perspective doesn't just change what you see, it fundamentally changes what you can do. It literally unlocks options that were invisible just a moment before. It's the difference between being a passenger lost in the maze and being the pilot who can fly above it and see the way out. So, next time you feel yourself getting stuck, getting bogged down by some single frustrating detail, I want you to remember that mental zoom lens. You have the tool now. The only question left to ask is, what big picture are you going to choose to see?